really, that was a season in which I think the team really formed a personality. We had the strength, offensive strength of the French Connection. I was on a line for most of the year with Jim Lorentz and Huey Harris or Steve Atkinson from time to time. We were a really strong second line offensive team line. You know, I scored 30 goals that year. Jim Lorentz had 28, and the other combination probably had you know, the same numbers combined. So when you look at the first two lines we had in terms of our offense, we were a pretty good offensive team. But what really made it, I think, successful was the emergence of Don Luce and Craig Ramsey and Larry Mickey on that line too, as a solid third line and as a checking line, but also a line that could score. You know, Don Luce ultimately scored 30 goals at least once or twice, and he was labeled early in his career as a checker, and that was pretty good. But you know, one of the things I've learned in management and from playing and working with hockey teams is that if you build your team successfully with the right ingredients, one complements the other, and when it's running well, it runs like a smoothly oiled machine.
When we got into that playoff hunt, I mean, we were a very young group of players, and luckily for us, we had a couple of great veteran players, and Timmy Horton and Roger Crozier and Larry Hillman, I think was. So we had some good people around us, and it was a great learning experience to be under that gun and to feel what it was like. And I think we took 88 points in the 72-game schedule just to get in that year and knock out Detroit. And we came down to the very last game of the year that we had to win. And I think we beat St. Louis 3-1, I think it was. And the intensity for that was truly incredible. And then going into Montreal, making the playoffs, going into the old Forum for the first ever playoff game, and I thought, man, I'm going to be nervous, but I really was not. I was certainly on edge, but I wasn't nearly as nervous as I think for a lot of the games down the stretch, because this was just so neat to be there, fairly unexpected, but we were in that situation, almost had nothing to lose, and I think Joe Crozier did a great job in saying, you know, a lot of teams are afraid of Montreal, afraid of that defense. We will show them no fear. We're just going to go chase them. And I thought that was pretty cool, and we did. We went after them. We gave them a hard time. I scored the first goal for the Sabres and get us up 1-0, and we ended up losing the first game 2-1. But that was exciting for me to score a goal in the Forum in a playoff game, and then to almost have a chance to win. And then, of course, when we won Game 5 down there, René Robert scored in overtime. That was truly an amazing situation to be part of, coming home and not playing great, but getting that standing ovation and the singing and the thank you Sabres. And I think that really told us a lot about what Buffalo was going to be like, and how great a place it was going to be. It was so great to be in that building.
And the fans were unbelievable. Thank you, Sabres. They stood up. I thought that was one of the most emotional things I've seen, between a bond between a team and fans, you know, in the National Hockey League for a young team.
Yeah. Well, at that time we had 8 or 9 French-Canadian guys on the team too.
Yes.
So that was playing against the Canadian was really. We were ready for them, you know, but they were ready for us. You know, we gave them a good series, a hard time in Montreal. We beat them in Montreal one game, so. And the organization, I know the organization, they were not too happy about it.
Yeah.